Mayor, you do have a quorum with all 6 members present. The first item is item 1, to approve the agenda.
Move approval. Support.
It's been moved by Councilman Webster, supported by Councilman Porter. Any discussion?
Madam Mayor, I'm asking, I made some requests on the last meeting regarding a discussion on the report, a discussion on the recommendations, and also the regards to a city employment repayment of health care.
Okay.
And it is not, and I'd like to know why.
Okay.
By whose authority was it not put on?
Okay. Can we wait until we come to the administrative reports?
That's fine with me.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 2 are city council minutes. Item 2A are the regular meeting minutes of October 2nd.
Move to approve.
Support.
It's been moved by Mayor Pro Tem Miller, supported by Councilman Webster. Any additions, corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The next is
And-
item 3, presentations. Item 3A is the HYPE annual report presentation by Ali Syed. I don't see him here.
No.
I don't know, if you would like, we could hold that in abeyance, and if he does come in, we can move the agenda.
If there's no objections?
No objections.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Then item 4 are requests. Item 4A is a request to declare October 21st through 27th, 2018 as National Business and Professional Women's Week in Wayne.
Move to approve.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I do have a resolution that I prepared, and there are a number of ladies from the organization that would like to come up after I read the resolution.
Certainly.
This is the City of Wayne resolution. Whereas working women constitute a major portion of the nation's working force and are constantly striving to serve their states and nation in civic and cultural programs. And whereas major goals of business and professional women are to help create better conditions for business women through the study of social, educational, economic, and political problems, to help them be of greater service to their community, and to further friendship with women throughout the world. And whereas all of us are proud of their leadership in these many fields of endeavor. And whereas this is the 90th consecutive year of recognizing Business and Professional Women's Week in the United States. And whereas the Council of the City of Wayne urges all citizens, civic and fraternal groups, educational associations, news media, and other community organizations to join in the salute to the working women of America by encouraging and promoting the celebration of their achievements of all business and professional women as they contribute daily to our economic, civic, and cultural purposes. Now, therefore, I, Susan M. Rowe, Mayor of the City of Wayne, on behalf of the City Council and citizens of Wayne, do hereby proclaim the week October 21st through 27th, 2018 as National Business and Professional Women's Week in Wayne.
Would you like to step forward, please?
No, I'm not in it yet. Next time.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Not me.
Do you want to hold that?
I think I'm out of my
Oh, Beverly, okay. All right. So, all right. You ready? 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to do another one, okay? 1, 2, 3, smile. All right, very good. All right.
Hey, come on, come on.
Do the thing of taking the next picture. Yeah, I got one.
Thank you. I'm Bev Blankers. I'm the president of Wayne BPW. And we have been a club in Wayne for close to 80 years. And we just nominated our Woman of Achievement, and that is Ann Zimmerman, president of the Wayne Historical Society. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, would you like to introduce the state president?
State of Michigan. State President from Michigan BPW is here. Susan Oser, and she happens to live in Westland.
Well, congratulations.
Last night, they had a proclamation at the Westland Council meeting.
Thank you, thank you. Next item.
Is item 5, appointments to boards, commissions, and committees. Item 5A is to accept the resignation of Timothy McClure from the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Move to approve.
Support.
Been moved by Mayor Pro Tem Miller and supported by Councilman Porter with the usual letter of thanks. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 5B is to approve the appointment of Cynthia Schofield, 35235 Elm, to the Zoning Board of Appeals until July 19th to fill the unexpired term of Timothy McClure.
Move to approve. Support.
It's been moved by Councilman Racy, supported by,
Councilman Porter and Councilman Webster.
oh, I'm sorry, I thought it was Councilman Racy. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 5C is to approve the appointment of Andrew Raisinin, 41422 as the first alternate to the Zoning Board of Appeals until October 2021.
Move approval.
Support.
It's been moved by Councilman Racy, supported by Councilman Webster. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next item is item 5D, to approve the appointment of Leonard Fisher, 3109 Winifred, as the second alternate to the Zoning Board of Appeals until October 2021.
Move to approve. Support.
It's been moved by Mayor Pro Tem Miller, supported by Councilman Webster. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
If you would like to move the agenda, Mr.
Yes.
Said did come in.
Yes,
If you'd like
we'll do
to.
that.
You were number 3, but we went through quite quickly, so.
I apologize for the delay. Little traffic on 94.
Thank you.
Oh, I got a couple more here.
You guys do.
Sorry.
Okay. Here you go.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, welcome.
Thank you. Special year. We're embarking on our 3rd year at the center. And thanks to the wonderful partnership with the council and the residents and the support that we've received over the last 3 years, we're excited to share our success and we're looking forward to a strong future together, hopefully. I presented a presentation for you that basically highlights all of the membership rates, a lot of stuff that you may already know. My name is Ali. I don't think we've met before.
No.
Yeah, it's
Nice to meet you.
Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
your appointment. So the first page just kind of highlights our mission statement and things that you may have already read before, and our membership structures on the second page. And then one of the unique things that we would like to highlight is our education and our drug prevention programs. We've been able to partner with the state of Michigan, who has an office here in Wayne, the Michigan Rehabilitation Services Office. They basically have customers who are who qualify as special needs. Those are Those include individuals that are in recovery and who have exceeded 90 days of clean time. We've been able to cater to over 300 individuals just out of our Wayne location alone by assisting them in their group therapy, as well as giving them the physical fitness component of their rehabilitation, which is very vital to their recovery. We're very excited to host a lot of the coalition meetings for our parents, and looking forward to working with local organizations such as FAN, if you guys are familiar with the FAN branch that's over on this side of town. If we go over to our next page, we've really been busy at the center. If you guys have driven by or have stopped by or noticed, we launched our brand-new swim team, the Hype Torpedoes, and they are doing wonderful. We have over 50 kids on our team. And we've been really popular in the pool. It's been picking up, thank God. It's been a scary asset or amenity for us at that center. It's highly costly to operate that pool, as you guys remember in past discussions. We do have a wide variety of fitness services that are offered for free to all of our members of all ages. And this time of year is an exciting time of year because we are approaching our Halloween walk at Wood Park. If you guys recall, that event attracted over 3,000 individuals to the park in a free activity that allowed them to get candy from our local vendors. And the local vendors are made up of our local businesses in this area. So we're very thankful for the businesses to have participated in that event. In addition to that, in November, we have our Thanksgiving turkey giveaway, where we've collaborated with Amanda over at the Wayne Westland Adams School Family Resource Services Division. And we're anticipating 350 to 400 families in Wayne and Westlands from the school district will receive a full turkey meal this Thanksgiving. We have provided support for a lot of the local national disasters that have taken place, including Flint and the hurricane efforts, and our members and our community members have participated and donated a lot of goods and services for that. In addition, we've served, the center has remained open as cooling space and heating space, warm-up space for those that are in need and have the lack of resources at home. The next page identifies a lot of the free services that we've continued to offer. The following page is special events. We've been really fortunate to host and retain a lot of the services that the Wayne Community Center used to host, including the Easter brunch, the Santa breakfast, and I'm not saying those right, so it's Christmas brunch, bunny breakfast, and our back to school fair where we've given over 1,000 backpacks to our local students. And I don't know if you guys seen that huge event that we have in August. It's a pretty cool event. I want to say over 2,000 people came to that event, and they enjoyed all the amenities for free. So they were able to swim, they were able to play some basketball. We had bouncers and food trucks, and it was a lot of fun for them. Our year-to-end results. This is the main thing, and if you remember, we talked about membership contracts and members. A membership contract could be it is one contract, but I can have up to 5 people on my contract, my wife and 4 kids, for example. So when you see the number, in 2017, we had 1,251 membership contracts, 830 members. This year, we're up to 1,723 contracts, 2,660 members. So it's a huge increase for us, and we're very positive about that. This means that, our time and our energy has been reflected upon by the residents. They've considered this a second home. They frequently use the facility as shows as a total annual member check-in. You can see those numbers are very significant. Not to mention, 2018, we still have 3 months, so we still have a lot of time left. We also highlighted the amount of rentals that we have out of the banquet room. And if you look at 2017, we had 1,104 rentals out of the banquet space. And this year, so far to date, we have 907. But with the anticipated holiday season, we normally have an influx of rentals in the banquet room. So the investment there really paid off. I mean, the people like it. They're having weddings, baby showers, and the weddings that are taking place there. I mean, there's companies that now like really decorate the suites and they make them look beautiful. So I also identified our total revenues year to date, as well as 2017, and our total expenses. And I know there's probably a few questions in that. The community partnership page on the next page is really one that we need to highlight. These are the organizations, corporations, and/or individuals that have collaborated with the center in 2017 and 2018. So these upcoming events. So we're very fortunate to have that, and that's our philosophy. It's a partner or parish philosophy. We need these organizations and these partnerships to really stay strong, because without them, we wouldn't be here today. Finally, our last page highlights some of the community services that we have and additional programming that we have, just so it gives you an idea of what's taking place there at the center. And again, I apologize for my tardiness. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Are there any questions from council?
Mary Rowe,
Yes.
I just want to ask you is that I know when you first started, you had a projection of what you wanted to achieve. Where are you at this point right now? I think it was a 4 or 5 year projection.
Yeah. We wanted within
Are
5
we
years.
on track here?
We are definitely on track. We wanted 2,500 membership contracts by the end of the 5th year. So we're definitely on track, and it's progressing on pace as we are planning. We're obviously having to spend a little bit more money in marketing to attract those new members, and then there's the competitor in downtown Wayne that just recently opened up that may slow us down a little bit. But we feel confident that with the programs that we offer and the additional amenities that we have to offer, that we should be able to sustain and continue to grow.
I've noticed as well, because some of the residents in my neighborhood, an 83-year-old man in particular, I mean, his eyes lit up and smiled. 83 years old. He loves going to the gym there.
Excellent.
So that was a good indication of that. Now it's getting more acclimated within our community.
Absolutely. I agree. Thank you. Thank him.
Any other questions?
No.
No? Okay. Yes.
Just something that deviates off of this for your Halloween walk.
Yes, sir.
Are you asking for donations this year? Like my wife and I always went the last couple of years. We went this year. We can't, but we don't see any boxes to donate candy or anything. Are you doing that anywhere?
The normal process was to ask either an individual or a company to purchase enough candy for about 3,000 kids. Typically, in the past, we've had some extra candy donated. We never really asked for it, but it came, and then we offered that as backup to a lot of the people that came maybe with less candy. So we're not really asking for it, but if you do bring it, it'll definitely be given away to the kids.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ali, thank you again for being here. These free services for all, I'm really impressed with the amount of tutoring and help that you give to students. I think that's commendable. Do you work with the Wayne Westland School District office as far
do.
as, letting them know that this tutoring
Absolutely.
is available?
Yeah, absolutely. All of our program numbers, knock on wood, have gone up this year.
Okay.
You know, all of our after-school initiatives for kids have all gone up. We've even seen an increase in usage in our daycare, which was free daycare, and now kids are finally starting to come with their families. So it's awesome. Yeah, it's definitely been growing.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Anyone else? Okay. Well, thank you very much, Ali. I appreciate you
welcome.
being here. Move the
We'll move
agenda.
the agenda to item 6, which is communications and reports. Item 6A is a report on the desk assessment contractor review from the Senior Alliance. And Nancy is here in the
Yes,
back.
okay.
She wanted to highlight some of those things.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, City
Good evening.
Council members, and fellow residents. I just wanted to point out, every year, I get audited by the Senior Alliance, which is one of my funding agencies. As you can see on your report, it just shows kind of the basic thing they cover. But the audit is actually like 30 pages long when I produce it for them. Every year, the advantage of that is when the year starts to wind down, if there is any of the other funding sources that come in, if you have a good audit, they will call you and ask you if you want to request additional funding. They will also, if somebody is not doing the appropriate recording, they will then lose the remaining part of their funding, and we will be asked. So even though it doesn't look like much for what you got, it really does make a difference in supporting the senior programs. I don't know if anybody had questions regarding it or not.
I would just like to state that the bottom of the page that we received, it says here that the City of Wayne was well prepared for the assessment and submitted all the necessary documentation. Again, thank you, Nancy, for doing that. It shows that you're on top of things and you're the reason that it's running as well as it is, and you continue to get the funding.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? No? Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
Oh, no.
I gotta tell you, you
This is
really
off the
have,
cuff, so I don't
yeah,
know.
it's really off the cuff. She's not paying me to say this. She's wonderful. She's spending so much time and so much energy with all of our seniors in Wayne, and it's an honor and a privilege to work with her. She's doing great things. She really is, and I know it's not the right time, but soon, when the economy turns, let's think about giving her a raise.
Or additional staffing would be great.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, thank you very much.
And the next item is item 6B. This is a medication take-back event, which is scheduled for Saturday, October 27, 2018, at Annapolis Hospital.
Good evening, Mayor, members of City Council.
Good evening.
The Wayne Police Department is once again joining forces with Wayne Beaumont Hospital on a medication take-back day. This will be on Saturday, the 27th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. At the main entrance to the Wayne Beaumont Hospital on Annapolis. Again, it'll be taking unused medications. There'll be 2 officers there along with Beaumont staff. And once again, we will not be accepting needles, syringes, or liquids at this time. So we invite everyone that has medications they don't know what to do with or need to dispose of, please bring it to the event.
Okay. Chief, I do have a question. Is it okay just to empty the pills all in a Ziploc bag and bring them that way? Or do you
Yes.
want them in the pill bottles and just remove
It
the
would
labels?
be easier to,
Just a Ziploc bag?
either way is fine,
Okay.
but if we want to put them all in a Ziploc bag, that's fine.
Okay. Any questions?
No.
Okay. Thank you very much.
And item 6C is a flyer from the Wayne Main Street regarding the Scarecrow Contest reception, which is tomorrow, October 17, 2018, from 4 to 7 o'clock at Derby's Alley. And Maxwell had asked that I put that on the agenda for them to remind everyone to come out to Derby's Alley. Tomorrow they have a lot of events, and to vote for your favorite Scarecrow.
Okay.
And today I helped get things ready. Angie Jarman, our office, is quite involved in that. So I want to thank her for working on that as a volunteer, and I helped her get some things done too. So.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Next item?
Is item 7, general items for consideration. Item 7A is to approve a resolution and contract with Nationwide Retirement Solutions Deferred Compensation Program.
Move to approve.
Support.
It's been moved by Mayor Pro Tem Miller, supported by Councilman Webster. Katie, do you wish to give us a little overview?
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
Just wanted to share a little more than what was on the memo here. I wanted to let you know that this is something in addition to ICMA that we already have. It would just have some alternative investment options. Any employee that chooses to transfer from ICMA to Nationwide, they would just complete a form. There's no cost to the city. And one thing that I really liked about Nationwide is that they will allow regular part-time employees to sign up. We currently have 73 part-time employees, and they're not able to do a deferred compensation program right now, but they will with this. And then lastly, what I liked about them is any loans that employees take out, it would be deducted, their payments for the loans, from their checking account, where currently payroll is administering that. So it would be a little easier in finance. And Candace is here to answer any questions that you might have.
Okay.
Mayor?
Yes.
May I just ask one case, may I ask one question of you? You said 73 part-timers that we currently have? How many full-timers do we currently have?
63.
Thank you.
Okay. Any questions for Candace? I'm sorry, Candace?
Yes.
No? No, none at all?
Mayor,
Good deal.
I'll ask, okay, this is something that we're now providing for our full-time and part-time employees that they did not have previously. Is that my understanding?
Actually, the 457 program is in place. What we're doing here is adding an additional provider. So ICMA was the current provider for the 457B, although it was not, for whatever reason, that program was not open to part-time employees.
Right.
So what the city is intending to do is to open the program up through another vendor. So it's still the same 457B deferred compensation plan. You'll just now have two providers for that service. So employees will have the choice of either staying with ICMA or moving over to the nationwide program.
Okay.
I do have one question. Do employees have to participate in either one of those, or is that strictly voluntary?
Strictly voluntary. 457B is just for voluntary, contributions. They can opt in at any time. There's no open enrollment period. So any full-time or regular part-time employee will be able to contribute at any time.
Thank you.
I have one other question. When there's a larger pool of employees involved in the program, does it change the dynamics of it at all?
No, the whole point of the program is to provide the employees a better standard of living in retirement. So the city obviously would like for the employees to participate. However, because it's a voluntary program, there's no mandatory time that they have to meet with me or the ICMA rep to sign up. So with it being strictly voluntary, we do have educational programs that we can come in and provide, but there's no constraints upon the city as to how many people participate in the program.
Okay. And this is in addition to their pension that automatically we already contribute to?
Correct. There's no city contributions to the 457, just employee contributions. And there's also, with the current program, the part-time people will be able to participate in this plan, whereas with the current plan, they were not.
Any questions then? No? All right then, we'll we do have a motion, I believe? Yes. It's been moved by Mayor Pro Tem Miller, supported by Councilman Webster. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item 7B is to approve the purchase of a new 2019 Dodge Charger patrol vehicle for the police department from Galnanas Van Dyke Dodge, which is the state contract bidder, in the amount of $24,511.75 to be paid from the police department vehicle budget.
Move to approve.
Support.
Been moved by Mayor Pro Tem Miller and supported by Councilman Webster. And Chief, what do you have for us?
Good evening again, Mayor, members of the City Council. I bring to you tonight, and this is for a purchase of a new traffic vehicle. So what a traffic vehicle means is this is not like our regular patrol vehicles that have overhead lights on it and markings, reflective markings. The traffic vehicle, the lights would be inputted within the vehicle. There would be no overhead lights on it, and subdued graphics to be able to do effective traffic enforcement. Right now, our current traffic vehicle is a 2007 Crown Victoria with about 94,000 miles on it. It's in very, very bad condition, and officers right now currently are not using it because of its condition. So I did some research, and I found the 2019 Dodge Charger all-wheel drive. I explored it. I looked at the vehicle. It is a very nice vehicle. It has a lot of there's a lot of safety features as an officer safety package as well, which would actually trigger the screen in the car if someone walks up behind an officer, which is very nice. And it's approximately $2,000 less than a equal or equipped Ford Taurus. The interior room in the front of the vehicle is a little bigger than the Ford Taurus as well, which is kind of the negative part of the Taurus. That's why we're buying Explorers from now on. I think this is a good vehicle. Like I said, it's cheaper. It has the all-wheel drive with the V8 in it. And it'll do a great job for us as far as traffic enforcement. And it's something different than what most people look for when they're looking for a police vehicle. That's what kind of going out of the box a little bit with this. Like I said, this would be a dedicated traffic vehicle and something that we need. So.
Okay, all right then, and, let's see, what else did the 24,511, does that include outfitting it?
That does not include outfitting.
Okay,
it.
and that's
So
another-
We're looking at another 10 to 12,000 roughly to outfit it, roughly between our other last ones that we've had.
Okay. All right, then it was moved and supported. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
The next item is item 7C. This is to approve a noise ordinance waiver with the Michigan Department of Transportation for construction work on Michigan Avenue during the 2019 construction season. Could we have a motion and
Yes,
support?
yes.
Move to approve.
Who moved that? Councilman
Councilman Webster,
Webster
supported by
by
Councilman
John,
Raisy.
Councilman Racy. Okay, all right.
Madam Mayor, members of the council, MDOT is proposing to do some concrete joint repair and asphalt resurfacing from Pershing Street in the city of Wayne to Gully Road through Westland and into Inkster. This is going to take place in the spring of 2019. Our kickoff meeting is usually a couple years away from the project, but this funding became available, so we have 6 months about from our kickoff meeting, which just happened a week or two ago, till this spring start. MDOT is requesting to be able to work through the night. The reason that they would like to do this is it would reduce the impact to the businesses, the exposure of the public to construction, worker exposure to traffic, and reduce overall work zone delays. So they're hoping to be able to work from 9 p.m. Each night, ending at 5 a.m. on the work days and 8 a.m. on the weekends.
Okay. Will this be, they'll be having those big floodlights and such showing on the pavement? Like they
I
have on the
believe they'll
freeways?
have lights there showing through the night. Hopefully, they're very focused on that project, and I think the noise is really going to be the issue there through the night. We have areas where residents are close in certain areas of that project, and they want to make sure that we were aware of what they were hoping to do. Even though the project will take 2 to 3 months, they shouldn't be working in front of any particular place for more than a couple weeks. So there will be times when people will be inconvenienced for a couple weeks when they're in that area to get these repairs done.
Okay, and this is both east and westbound?
Yes, east through the downtown area.
Right.
I have to get more plan information about the westbound portion.
Okay.
It's asphalt. And then, yes, east and west where it's concrete, east of the downtown area.
Okay, then. Are there any questions?
There's a question.
Yes.
Madam
Do we not do this?
Please, Sharon, if you could speak in the microphone.
Okay, Sharon Bunnick of Sim Street. Didn't we do something similar like this on weekends about a year ago? When Michigan Avenue I thought it was on weekends and weekends only during the night. And we shut down lanes and we worked on those big cracks and stuff, something like that. Do you remember that?
I wish I could say yes for sure. That sounds right, but I don't want to tell you something.
I know,
that
I don't know if it was
the answer
last
to.
year or the year before, because I live downtown and I kind of remember that, but it was on weekends. I don't remember. So this is going to be weekdays, weekends?
All through the week, 7 days a week. They're trying to get this done as quickly as possible.
Did you say 6 months?
No, 2 to 3 months.
Thank you. Okay.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mike.
The next item is item 7D. This is to approve a resolution to direct appropriate legal counsel to provide guidance on the workplace assessment.
Okay.
address this,
Yes,
Mayor?
please.
Thank you. Yeah, we received some direction from the council and the mayor at the last meeting with respect to the workplace assessment recommendations. The workplace assessment recommendations are being handled by your labor council, Keller Toma. They provided, I don't think anybody from Keller Toma is here tonight. But I'm looking at a letter that they provided about 3 weeks ago to the mayor and council, where they go through sort of detailed bullet points in terms of the policies that they're working on. I think there's somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 policies that they're updating. There's an employee handbook that they're updating, and I brought the employee handbook with me tonight. And it was enacted right before, I think I was carrying a beeper. This was 1994. So it precedes flip phones, it precedes cell phones, it precedes a lot of internet communication. So this is something that's probably going to require quite a bit of revision. So I guess what we're doing is we're looking for direction. Is this, would you want I guess we're looking for direction from the council and mayor. Is it the desire of the council and mayor for our office to assist Keller Toma in putting together these policies and updating the employee handbook? Or is the desire to have Keller Toma come in and present to the mayor and council on where they're at as far as an update goes? Again, the letter is dated September 25th, so they've had 3 weeks, I guess, since the letter was sent to you. And so that's all I know. I guess we're just looking for guidance, whether you want our office to handle it or Keller Toma to handle it, or how you would like to proceed.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, that has been the question as to who was doing what. Originally, it was to be Keller Toma that was going to be working on the recommendations with the city manager's office and administration. And I had talked to the labor attorney last week, shortly after we got that, and she stated that one of the holdups, especially with the employee handbook, is the fact that our charter is so outdated that a lot of the things that are in the current employee handbook really aren't not even legal to be in writing and for us to be doing. And then any updates that she is doing conflicts with what's in our charter. So she said it's moving slowly. She was hoping to have something to the city manager's office the end of this week. So I don't know where that is at, but I think basically what it is, we just want to know where are they, on that letter it states, updated, being drafted. Where is that at as far as these different things? And then there's some recommendations that weren't answered in that. And I know some members of council did have questions about that. And as I have stated to council, when Councilman Dowd and I met with the city manager and gave her the report initially back in June, I believe it was, or
Yes.
first part of July, we had given her the option. We could have gone into a closed meeting to address some of these issues, and she said it wasn't necessary. So your firm had given us an opinion, I don't remember the exact date, but stated that unless we are getting an opinion from the labor attorney, we cannot go into closed session. That letter is an update. That September 25th memo is an update that can be discussed in an open session. And that's why it was asked to be put on the agenda. Now, I don't know, this is my second to the last meeting, so nothing's probably going to happen now. But I would just hope that the new council coming in will at least address those recommendations and move forward with it and look at it and see where the culture that was in operation can be made better for employees to be here. I mean, you're here usually more than you are at home, waking hours. You're at City Hall. And it should be a place that you want to come to and that you enjoy coming to. And I just feel that these are things that needed to be discussed and worked through. And I would just hope that, it's probably not going to happen next meeting, so I'm just hoping that it can at least be discussed and worked on the next council.
My understanding, based on the letter, is it appears that they're working on at least 10 or 11 of these items, and if there are more items that aren't on here that the council desires Labor Council to work on, then, you know, we certainly within your rights to have them come in and give you an update.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I have a
Mayor
question.
Pro Tem.
We're focused on the employees, but all these rules should apply to anybody that's employed by the city, including council members. And that's a question that bothered me in reading through this, and I'm thinking, why aren't we including the elected officials under that umbrella of regulation?
You can certainly pass an ethics policy or some sort of, I don't know if you have something like that.
Why do we need something separate when we can have it all in one?
Because you may not be considered employees legally if you're
Right.
elected officials. There may be a legal distinction.
If you
there.
get a paycheck from this city, you're an employee.
That's your opinion, but
Yeah.
the courts may not, all the courts
Right.
may not agree with that.
And you know what? In that opinion, I've gotten that opinion several times to be upheld,
Okay.
okay? So, that's why I'm bringing it up. I think some of the problems that we do have extend further than just the workplace here.
Is that all? Okay. Anyone else?
I got
Yes.
a question for the city attorney.
Yes.
What is a reasonable amount of time you think, based on this list, that it's going to take for Keller Toma to be able to do this? Because there's a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to give you a timeline because our office doesn't work on it. Keller Thomas, they're very capable. They're great labor attorneys, but again, they're working on a number of things that.
And we're not their only client.
Relatively antiquated.
Yeah.
And, you know, the employee handbook from 1994, and then if you're talking about charter amendments, my understanding is that there is some desire, you know, amongst the elected officials and the community to sort of look back at the charter and look at maybe a set of charter revisions that could fold into some of these recommendations. So, I'd hate to give you a timeline because I don't want to be writing a check that Keller Toma couldn't cash.
Yeah.
So,
No, I just kind of wondering, what's a reasonable expectation, you know?
I think that'd be a great question for them, Councilman.
Okay, great, thanks.
Anyone else? No? Okay. Yes, Mr. Blackwell?
Is this item in regards to the workplace evaluation conducted by dispute resolutions?
Yes, yes.
Okay, and I'll be very brief and to the point. We all know the reports are out there. I've gotten the second report. It's dated August 20th. It's about 6 pages. And to be honest with you, I did have something prepared to say tonight, but I'm going to do something better. I'm going to talk from my heart. I've been a resident, a member of this community, a stakeholder since 1985. Probably not as long as some of you folks, but this is my community. When I read this report, I was mortified, shocked, horrified. This needs to be brought out into the open, Madam Mayor, and with all due respect to you, to council, I implore you and each of these members sitting on this council to schedule a special meeting, say next week, and I'm sure there's time pursuant to the state law to do so. Bring everything to the table. Let the people know the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. We paid over $45,000 for this report. That's all we want. It's not by not discussing this, because we all know 3 weeks from today, a new council will be seated. We cannot let this go unresolved. What the new council is going to do, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. It may be shelved for a while, which I hope not. I just want some resolved, accomplished before this new council come in, because you will not only be doing a disservice to the taxpayers, the residents, the stakeholders in this community, but it will be a slap in the face to each and every employee who laid their neck on the line and voluntarily gave an interview with Mr. Herford from Dispute Resolutions. That would be a huge slap in their face. So please don't do a disservice to me, to my fellow residents, and especially the employees that, like you said, they're getting to the point where they don't want to come here. There's a reason why things are happening. And like I said, I'm not going to go into detail what's in this report because all of you folks have it. I was just mortified. I've seen things in my 51 years here on God's green earth, but nothing like this. It was absolutely shocking. So again, Madam Mayor, with all due respect, I implore you, please, from my heart, each and every one of you, call for a special meeting, an open meeting, so that we, the public, can see everything right on the table.
Okay,
Thank you.
very much.
Madam Mayor, another.
Oh, yes.
Sharon Bonnick, Sim Street. I'm going to add a few more comments onto what Mark said. As a member of this community of over 40 years, it's about the employees, but it's also about the community. How are you going to fix all of this? You're about to open Pandora's box. Within this box are several reports from dispute resolution services with findings and recommendations for city council that you are now forced to participate in through discussions with each other, the city attorney, the city manager, and the management team. These reports have been available to council for about 2 months. It's time you roll up your sleeves and get busy. All of you. Many residents also have, as Mark spoke to, the reports on the street. We have street report number 1. We have street report number 2. That one's dated August 20th. I have those. I also have the redacted report that I obtained through a FOIA request. That's what this looks like. There's 40 redactions minimum in here. Many paragraphs, many pages are blacked out. That's what I got for $160. Let's speak to this. The redacted report, this one, has overriding themes. Leadership or the lack of it by administrators, favoritism for certain employees, lack of respect for each other among our employees, and this doom loop, I learned a new word, working environment that our employees are forced to work under. All these numerous examples of these overriding themes have been redacted. That's fine. However, all of these examples can be found in street report number 1 for anybody that would care to read them. For me, I find from the redacted report 2 things that just bothered me a lot to be unnecessary and unacceptable in the search for the truth under the Freedom of Information Act. And they occur right in the introduction of your first report of August 8th. The introduction, there's a partial redaction of the claims of a hostile work environment and favoritism included. Now, how do I know that? Because I have these other reports. I can lay them side by side to the redacted report.
Madam Mayor, this
Yes.
is the 3-minute mark.
Okay,
Sharon, it's your 3 minutes.
I'm
Please
done.
sit down.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Get busy. Let's get something done.
Anyone else? Yes, Mr. Steinhauer?
Good evening, everybody. My name is David Steinhauer. I own professional insurance on Wayne Road, and I'm a member of the DDA board here in Wayne.
Welcome.
Thanks. I wanted to bring to everybody's attention a topic that I brought up to the DDA board meeting in September, and that was my frustration, and it goes along with this last item in terms of the report, the investigation that was done. Mine is a little bit less in terms of what's in the report, but more with the cost of the report. When I heard the report cost $45,000, I about fell over. I've stood up here before in front of you and said how frustrating it is for me as a member of the DDA board to turn essentially all of the money that goes to the DDA over to the city because of the city's financial issues. I understand and I accept the fact that we need to do that. I don't like it, but I understand that we need to do it. But when a report is done and cost $45,000, I want to know why. Handbooks and above me, to a degree, in terms of what needs to be done, seems pretty simple. I'm requesting from the city council, from the city, information on why it cost $45,000. Did the city look at other cities that had to do things like this, had to go through reports like this? Obviously, they have. Look at the people that did it. Was their time used appropriately to cost $45,000? I have trouble thinking that it was. So I'm here requesting, as a DDA board member, and I'm one vote, I'm requesting the city send that money back to the DDA, the $45,000. I don't believe it was used appropriately. I'm asking for the reason why it was used, why the total amount was used that way. That $45,000 can do a lot of good in this city. The DDA is there to promote the city, to help the city, to improve the city. I'm not sure it was worth $45,000. And if the money's going to be spent like that, and I want an explanation, and it's not a good one, I would request that money back. I would also say to the city council, that if this is the way the money is going to be spent, and if it was inappropriately spent, why should I, as a member of it, in one vote, approve next year's budget and give any money to the city council? I understand why we do it again, and I'm happy to do it, but I'm very frustrated. So I'm asking the city for that. I'm also asking for a check, so we can actually help the city. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? Move the agenda. Move the agenda, please.
Is
Oh,
added
we need,
item 7E.
also, I would like a resolution as to how you want to proceed on 7D.
Well, I guess the council would put together some resolution and either give us direction or give Labor Council direction.
Okay,
You want a resolution?
yes, please.
I'm asking for us to have a special meeting next week to discuss the recommendations and the content of this report.
Okay, who do you want at that meeting? Could you
Council.
include that?
Okay, and the entire council.
What about
And the
the
attorney, and the city, and the labor attorney.
Okay,
We don't need multiple attorneys, we've got enough of them.
okay,
And of course, I want the public to be present.
okay. All right. Is there support? No? Okay. Motion dies for lack of support. All right. Is there any other resolution? Thank you, gentlemen.
The next item is added item 7E. This is to approve Budget Amendment 2019-02.
Move approval. Support.
It's been moved by Councilman Webster, supported by Councilman Porter for the budget amendment. You had some new items given to you this evening. Do you have any questions on it? No? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Next item is item 8, Administration Reports.
Okay, the city manager unfortunately is home ill today and tonight with this new flu that's going around. So she asked that the city attorney give any updates that he might have.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Mhm.
Just a couple things, as far as Cadillac Apartments, the Cadillac Apartment Building, Mike, let me know today that in the next few days, they're gonna actually have a demolition date for the apartments, so if, Mr. Clearman wants to plan his tailgate party, the Cadillac Apartment demolition, as soon as we're aware of that date, we'll let you know, okay? So for the next meeting, there should be a demolition date for that structure. Next month, I've started to tackle the vacant buildings ordinance. I know it's something we want to move on. I'm looking at that right now. I hope to have an update for that at the next meeting. I've watched all the meetings now from June 2018 through the current meetings. I've reviewed minutes from April and May as an effort to educate myself as to the city of Wayne and the issues that are before the council. I'm going to be sitting down with various citizens and other stakeholders, council people, to continue to learn about the city in the coming weeks. So that's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is this in regards to his report?
Well, no, it's a question.
Then that would be at,
Specifically, okay, I'll wait.
The next item then are citizens' comments or requests on items not on the agenda. Citizens are to limit their comments or requests to 3 minutes. The city council asks that if you do have a question or concern, to bring it to the attention of the appropriate departments whenever possible. If you feel the matter has not been resolved satisfactorily, you're encouraged to bring it to the attention of the city manager. And if still not resolved satisfactorily, to the mayor and the city council. The mayor, the city council, and the department heads may not respond to the questions at the meeting, but will respond by the next city council meeting or as soon as possible once they've looked into the matter.
all right, Mr. Wagner.
Yeah, Phil Wagner, I live on Laurenwood. I just wanted to give a big shout out, thank you to the Parks and Trails Commission for for organizing the volunteer event this past Sunday. We painted the pavilions and the picnic tables at two of the parks, and they look really good.
Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Blackwell?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Correct me if I'm wrong. Mr. Steinhauer, is it, brought up the fact that the $45,000 was, I guess, borrowed from the DDA, but in fact, it came out of the Risk Management Fund. Is that correct? I mean,
I will have the city manager address that at the next meeting.
because either way, it's still tax dollars. It's not his money, it's our money. And I don't mean to sound sarcastic, but if you take it this way, you can. I would just like to say thank you to those council members. You are the representatives of the people. By not voting to bring this about and in open, should have brought some masking tape. It's a cover-up, in my opinion. And Madam Mayor, I'm sorry. My next statement is, and by no means, I don't mean anything derogatory to you. I think the city manager probably needs to brush up on the city charter. In lay terms, let me say this. The dog wags the tail does not wag the dog. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Ms. Bunnick?
Sharon Bunnick on Sim Street, and I better talk fast. Oh, I get Mark's turn, okay. Here are my questions for the city attorney regarding FOIAs, and I've typed them up and I'll leave them with you, but I want council to know what my questions are, okay? Did you do the redactions for my FOIA request regarding all the reports and supplements, memos, emails, et cetera, regarding the workplace evaluation performed by Dispute Resolutions as supplied to mayor and council? Did you do that for me? Did you do the redaction?
We
Yes or
will
no? You don't know? Okay.
read your,
You're not going to?
Right.
Did you, okay.
Correct protocols for you to.
Right.
to make.
Okay.
Right.
Did you perform the necessary search of all documents I requested? Did someone else, like the city's FOIA administrator, perform the search of requested documents, then forward those documents on to you for redaction? Once again, I paid $160 for 32 pages and 7 emails. All emails were fully redacted. Of the $160, I paid $125 for contracted labor redaction fees. Now, everybody says, go work this out with the FOIA administrator and the attorney. I can't. This is under appeal. You did not supply me with an itemized bill for the redaction fees as required by law. I received my report 1 day late. I wanted to ignore that, trust me. The city's going to be subject to a fine as I appeal this. I was not afforded that Second Street report that I refer to, dated, supplemental report dated August 20th, is furnished to council. I did not receive it. I did not receive a redacted report. I did not receive a mention of the report. I would think you would have to tell me by law why I was denied that report. I received nothing. So what's going on?
You said you have that in writing?
In what
Your-
in writing?
Your questions?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I want to know
Then-
from you people, let me take it out on them now. What's going on here? Where's the freedom of information in the city of Wayne? How I followed every proper avenue, and you know it. I talked to several of you, including the mayor, on how to obtain this report. I did it all. Why is it that I, as a resident, am charged with the redaction fees? When you approved that resolution, that fell on you. If you wanted that report redacted, it should have been redacted right then, and you pick up the bill. Instead, I was charged. Here's your question. Thank you.
You have to hand those to the
Yes,
mayor.
yes. Okay. Could I have a motion, please, that these questions be submitted to the attorney for his review and response to it?
I make the motion.
I'll support.
Okay. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Well, should
Opposed?
we complete the motion because
Oh, yes.
everything's so technical these days? You
Okay.
leave something out, we don't do
Okay.
it.
Well, it would be response to all the questions that
Yes.
Ms. Bunnick submitted in writing to us, and we will pass it on to the city attorney, and he can work with the city manager. If we could add city attorney and city manager work to answer the questions to the motion. Is there any objection?
I do object to the fact that I think the city manager should be excluded from that and should be handled specifically with the labor attorney and the city attorney.
Okay, well, I think most of this can probably be handled by the city attorney, and if he needs to, he will need to contact really the city manager on some of the questions, I would think. So if we could add both city attorney, city manager, if there's no objection from Mr. Porter and Mr. Mayor Pro Tem Miller. It'll be at the discretion of the city manager. I mean, of the city attorney.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, Mayor.
I'll pass that
Can I
down.
please have those
Oh.
to me, and then I'll get them to the, as the clerk, the
Yes,
secretary of the
yes.
council.
Yes,
Thank
you are. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, Mr. Amos.
You did not vote on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Amos, sorry.
First and foremost, good evening, Mayor, City Council. My name's Vern Amos, and I live in the city of Wayne. When you're sitting in the back of this room, the people that come to this podium, you can't hear them speak into this crummy new mic that you bought. You can't hear in the back of the room. Likewise, we cannot hear the new city attorney through his mic, whether he's too far away from it or he's just got a crappy mic also. But the reason I'm up here is I would like to urge the city residents to vote no on this school millage. The presentation that was presented at the last council meeting was a bunch of bull, in my opinion. The reason why, and I honestly believe this, the residents are no longer bringing their children to our schools is because they can't get educated in our schools. Because you keep all the money at the top, you don't let any of the money funnel down to the teachers. You don't hire adequate teachers, amount of teachers, and that needs to be done so that the kids can be educated. Putting air conditioning and carpeting in schools is not going to educate kids. I went through the Wayne Westland school system as a child here in Wayne. And I got an education without air conditioning and carpeting. And I am sure a lot of you also. So, in my opinion, that's just money wasted. Money wasted also for expansions or remodeling of the field house at Wayne Memorial and John Glenn. Yeah, we probably need new roofs, we probably need new boilers, but if they would take some of that high-placed salary that they're making at the top and distinguish it to those items, that they probably could be replaced.
Please, please, let Mr. Amos continue.
Never mind, he interrupted my train of thought. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Amos. Anyone else? Yes?
Hi, it's Ann Zimmerman on Courier Street, but from the Wayne Historical Society. Thank you for letting me speak. I have some interesting programs that we're going to be doing at the Historical Museum Saturday. We're having a one night only called The Happening. The volunteers at the museum wanted to do a program that was family-oriented. It's a fundraiser. It's going to be a twist on real stories of real people, but with a little bit of a Halloween twist. There's 4 stories they're going to present, costume characters. The museum's going to be decorated. Our first group of storytellers will start at 6 o'clock. That's at the museum this Saturday, October 20th. It's $5. You can pay for it right at the door. You don't have to get tickets ahead of time. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be something different, and the museum's going to be decorated. Next Saturday, we have the Ghost Hunt with the Motor City Ghost Hunters, and that's a $25 ticket, and you get those online on Facebook with Eventbrite. It's paranormal event, so you're doing investigative studies on if there are ghosts at the museum. Through Brenda Ozog, we had Channel 7 at the museum last week, and they came inside, interviewed her. They showed our beautiful professional displays at the museum. They were very impressed. The museum got quite a lot of publicity last week on TV. We were contacted by Wayne County. They want to put our museum in the Wayne County Visitors Resource Guide. So that should be going through, so that will give us more publicity. The museum is quality. Tyler Mall and the volunteers have done a wonderful job updating the displays. We had the Bicycle Club, had their cemetery tour. We were very grateful. They had about 35 people. They toured the museum, the 3 cemeteries. And I had one lady ask a question. What's going to happen to the Old Wayne Cemetery? Is anybody ever going to be able to buy this and just bulldoze it? And we were thinking, no, we have to bring young people. That's why we come to these cemeteries. So they learn our history, and the young people are going to keep our history alive. So we have to bring young people into our museum, and that's what we're trying to do. And I want to thank DPW. They did a fine job cutting the trees in the Old Wayne and the shrubs. It was beautiful in Old Wayne Cemetery. The stones need work. That's another program, historical, this is Cemetery Commission probably needs to handle that. But we had a wonderful, and it's going to be a wonderful Halloween in our city. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Gentleman at the end.
Yes.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council, citizens.
Good evening.
3 weeks ago, I had to go to court because recalled Councilman Sanders had filed an appeal to my motion that the judge ruled him to be off the ballot this November. At that hearing at the court, Mr. Sanders wanted due process. The judge ruled in my favor and Mr. Race's favor. He said that it was a frivolous lawsuit and that the intent was to harass and embarrass both myself and Mr. Race. He felt so enraged by the motion brought forth by Mr. Sanders and his counsel that he ordered Mr. Sanders and his counsel to pay legal fees both for Wayne County and for myself, and the court costs. This past Friday, it was almost $10,000 that Mr. Sanders had to pay for his frivolous lawsuit. Another thing I want to talk about is, there's an old saying, and I believe Mr. Blackwell knows of it, that if you have 4 votes, you do business in this town. This whole investigation was to try to get 4 votes. See, the 3 people that were up for recall, Mayor Rowe, Mayor Pro Tem Miller, and the former Councilman Gabriel, were trying to seek a 4th vote to remove the city manager, not only to dictate who runs the city, but to give Mr. Sanders some credibility in his possible election for mayor. The pressure that the mayor was putting on one of the council members to vote to remove the city manager became by the wayside because of Mr. Blackwell's own saying when he said, read the charter 6.9 on social media. And I'll read the paragraph. The city manager shall hold office at the pleasure of a majority of the council, but they shall not be removed from office during a period of 90 days following any regular city election, except by the affirmative vote of 5 members of the council. Which means when the mayor was trying to get a 4th vote, they needed 5. And that's why nothing's been done with the report. More food for thought. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Wild.
Council, new city attorney.
Good evening.
Good evening. In regards to this report, the HR director for Wayne was quoted on social media saying that she was never informed of the initial complaint that sparked this $45,000 plus investigation. The fact that it was a phone call to the mayor that got the ball rolling on this. My question for the people of Wayne is, could you please ask the city attorney where in the city charter, in the duties of the mayor position of Wayne, that the HR director duties fall under that title? Just feel like it's a grasp for power. It's trying to take care of, to quote someone in the room, the good old boy network, take care of their own. I don't get how the HR department says they never received a phone call and wasn't aware of it until after the fact. Yet somehow we're on the people of Wayne have to pay for this investigation when all we hear is we don't have the money to do it, yet we do. So could you please ask the city attorney to look through the charter and explain the HR role of the mayor to the people? Thank you.
Anyone else?
Madam Mayor.
Ms. Bunnick?
Sorry. Sharon Bunnick, Sim Street, Mayor and Council. I was hoping somebody would ask this. Where are we at with the League of Women Voters event for Candidates Night at City Hall? We need to know right now. Where are we? Nowhere?
As far as I know, no.
It's all over and done with.
Yep, an authority figure decided that we can't have it.
So we turned it into, that's just very sad. Sad for the candidates that deserve an opportunity to work with the League of Women Voters. It's just really sad. Some of us argued about the use of taxpayer money. How many times do we consult the attorney? 2, 3, more? As roadblocks were continually thrown in the way where we're not going to use City Hall for the League of Women Voters. Would that money have not been better spent on doing the event and not paying the attorney twice, 3 times, however it happened? I'm very, very disappointed. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed that we treated the League of Women Voters in this manner. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, Ms. Rockwell, be careful.
Kathy Rockwell. I attended the firemen's event, and it was a wonderful event, and the kids just had so much fun, even though it was a rainy day. They couldn't get out and look, well, they got out and looked in the trucks and everything, but I just like to thank our chief for flopping the pancakes. I told him tonight, I bet he had a sore arm, but it was a wonderful event, and thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Clearman?
I just spoke with Mr. Said in the hallway after, or when he was leaving. He said he'd be happy to host the League of Women Voters Forum over at Hype. And I gave him the contact information for them, and I'm going to give him, or her, their contact information as well.
That's fine.
So no guarantee. There's only 2 weeks left, but it might happen there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, move the agenda.
This is item 9, items for the next agenda.
Are there any items from council? Okay,
What point is there? They never get on.
And
move the agenda, please.
is item 10, consent calendar. There are 3 items before you this evening.
Wish of council?
Move without exception.
Support.
It's been moved by Councilman Racy, supported by Councilman Porter. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Comments from members of the city council? Let's start with Councilman Racy.
Thank you, Mayor. I got a chance to go over to I had some prior business on Sunday, and I want to thank the Parks and Trails Committee. They did a great job in painting on the pavilions. I've been looking at a bunch of our parks, and we really need to look at all of our parks in the future here and how we can make them safer for our kids. There's no softball. There's a lot of dangerous things that we need to address, and I understand the financial situation, but we're going to have to find ways to get money from grants or donations or whatever we need to do. But we need to make sure that there's a safe environment for our kids to be able to play, and I want to thank Jeremiah and everybody that's been working on getting that together, and at least starting with the painting and continue to try to make that better. Also, the Scarecrow contest, make sure you go out to that tomorrow. That's going to be a good time. And I want to thank the city attorney. It's amazing how quickly they have been able to get things accomplished. I'm very happy to hear about that we're going to have a date for demolition for the Cadillac Apartments. This has been an issue for us for a long time, and thank you for all your efforts in working on that and making that happen. I also want to encourage people, next Wednesday is the State of the School District, and if you want to find out what's going on in our schools, I recommend going to that. It's going to be very informative. I went last year. It's very interesting how what's going on in the schools is paralleling what's going on in the city of Wayne. And it'll be probably about a 2-hour presentation, but it's definitely worth taking the time and seeing exactly what they have to say and hearing it right from them. And thank you again to the firefighters for hosting the breakfast. It was great, and thanks Jeremy and everybody that worked on that. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilman Webster?
The only thing I have tonight is the 3 parks that we've worked on so far are Forest, Avondale, and Taft. So if you haven't seen the pictures online, go check them out because they do look great. The turnout's been a little bit low recently, but I'm hoping before the end of winter we're going to get to the rest of these parks, and I hope some of you will come out and help us. And it's not just painting and sanding, it's picking up trash, it's pulling weeds, it's doing whatever we can to make these parks look a little bit better. So if you can come out, be on the lookout for some of the next dates coming up. We haven't scheduled anything, but we will be soon, so just be on the lookout for that.
Thank you. And Councilman Porter?
Nothing this evening.
Thank you. Councilman Dowd?
Just wanted to say thank you to the individuals that have been appointed to the boards and commissions, and looking forward to tomorrow's event with the scarecrows. If the number of scarecrows are any indication, it should be a fantastic thing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Mayor Pro Tem Miller?
Thank you. Tonight, I've had a lot of patience in working through the system and doing what's right for this community and keeping transparency, honesty, trustworthiness, all the above. That's what my oath was held to. I was obligated and took an oath to do. I am just so dismayed, frustrated that my city government has conducted themselves the way they have. They've done nothing but hold back, suppress, delay transparency in this community. If it's not with the Women's League voters, we're up here to solve problems, not to throw more obstacles in providing the things that our residents are asking for. They're asking for accountability with our government. They're asking for trust. Residents have been coming up to this council meeting for quite some time, and all they do is fight with this administration and council and getting answers on what the heck's going on here. How many times does someone have to constantly come back to a council meeting to ask a simple question and not get an answer? And then a question I want to ask the attorney, it brings to my mind is, when you give us your opinions, okay, and as a client with an attorney, you're looking for that opinion that complies with that law, correct? That you're looking for that opinion that will protect your client, correct?
I would Madam,
give an accurate opinion.
Okay, okay. In an opinion, we had 3 previous opinions on this report, and yours was differently. How did that transpire to go on the other side of the spectrum when it comes to opinion?
Could you be more specific, because I don't know what you're referring to? Mayor, do you want me to address?
Madam Mayor?
Well, I
Point of
would
order.
think that
Madam
should
Mayor?
be
of
addressed
order.
to him in writing, your
I-
question.
Madam Mayor, with all due respect, these are questions that
Point of
the
order.
public has a right to know.
Okay, a point of order has been called.
Okay, I'm gonna finish my closing comments then.
Okay.
All right? I'm not agreeing with any of this going on here. I'm gonna be straight up and forward. This is absolutely wrong. And this is the kind of city government that we are gonna have. It is gonna be a domino effect of negative reaction for this community. We are heading in the wrong direction. We go and thank these employees for all the things they do. But when it comes to standing up next to them, making sure that they can come to work and feel safe, comfortable, uninhibited in performing their duties and jobs for us every day, where are we now? Think of yourself as working in a hostile work environment. How would you think it would be? And I know,
Mayor,
thank you, Kelly, for your
The
3-minute
3
call
minute-
there.
3 minutes is up.
You're more than
Please.
welcome.
Thank you.
It wasn't a hostile.
Did you have something to say?
He said there was a hostile work environment, and the report said there wasn't.
Please.
Well, he put
Thank
his
you.
2 cents in. I guess I could throw in 4 more.
Could we, please have some,
I'm calling for
decorum.
that special meeting.
all right, I have nothing to say, just everyone have a very safe Halloween. Please remember those little kids out there, if you're going to give candy, make sure your porch lights are on and your step area and your sidewalks are well lit. And I want to ask Mr. Amos, do you have all of your school crossing guards?
Fortunately, they're all still alive. I'd like to remind the parents that they're there to help cross you and your children safely. But when parents drive their children to school and fail to follow the speed limits and come to a stop, not a rolling California stop, it makes it very difficult for them to do their job. Yes, we are still shorthanded.
Okay.
My hand was up, Mayor, was,
Can you step up if you have another question then? I will
Madam,
give
this
you
is
my
the
time.
end of the agenda.
Yeah.
I will give, is it in regards to the crossing guard, answering my question?
the question is about November's meeting.
It's
We got
November
election on
2nd.
the
It's Monday. It's Monday. It'll be held on Monday as is standard practice. And it will start at 7 o'clock
Yes.
so that the city clerk will be able to
Thank you.
wrap up. Thank you. Okay?
Motion to adjourn.
It's been moved by Councilman Racy, supported by, I believe, Councilman Webster. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Let's go.